Hello again. Today I have a quick video for you about leaving a clean impression when you're working with a design stamp. So the thing that I wanted to talk to you about today is called the tilt and tap method. And let me explain to you why we might need that. So when we have design stamps, they come in different sizes. So they come in a larger stamp like this one. Sometimes they come in, really big, intricate designs like this tree. Sometimes they're bigger. Sometimes we have little tiny impressions that we can make, like this little musical note, medium size like this I love you stamp here. But when we're working with the bigger stamps like this one, it can be really hard to get a clean impression. And that's because when you're stamping, you're actually displacing the metal that you're stamping on. Instead of carving out metal out of it, you're pushing those molecules of metal out to the side. If you think about putting a boat in water, the reason it stays afloat is because it's displacing that water. And it's the same kind of concept with metal stamping. We're just pushing metal out of the way, and that's what leaves the impression. And when you're working with a bigger stamp, the bigger the stamp, the more metal you've got to displace. And so if you just hit it with one blow or two blows maybe, when you've just got your stamp straight down like this, just one quick blow or two blows, it's really tough to get all that metal displaced. So a good trick for that when working with these bigger stamps is to do what's called the tilt and tap method. And so that's where I'm going to tilt my stamp as I'm stamping and then tap it with the hammer. And it's a little more heavy-handed than just a tap, but we're going to hit it multiple times. And we need to be really careful that we're just keeping the stamp exactly in the same place, because if I'm moving it, when I'm tilting and tapping, then I'm going to not get a clean impression. I'll get shadowing or double impressions or things like that. So let me show you really quickly how that works. I'm just going to do it for you right now. So this is a mason jar stamp from Beaducation that I'm using right now. And then my Impress Art stamping hammer. So I'm going to hit it one time straight down. I'm trying to do it so you can see the angle instead of right under the camera here, and then I'm going to tilt it this way and to my right and towards me, to the left. And I can do, several blows as long as I'm making sure that I've got my stamp in the exact same place on my blank. And then when I'm finished, sorry, I'm using a junk blank here and it keeps sticking to my tape. So when I'm finished, you can see I get a nice clean impression. I'm trying to get it without glare there. And that works for most of the bigger stamps that you can use. So that helps you to get a nice clean impression when you're using the bigger stamps with more detail or the larger impressions. Hope you found that helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments and I'll see what I can do to answer. Thanks.